Yo, what's up guys? A video about World Guild Battle. Yo, what's up guys? A video about Fire Trist. So it might be a unit that you have laying around, that you picked it up already, but you haven't skilled it up. It's actually pretty easy to skill up because you can use the 4-star Tristes to do so. And this unit is actually quite a bit better than I expected. And it's mainly the 3rd skill. So you have the attack bar decrease, you also have branding, you have a glancing hit, and then also if you do crit, then your crit damage is increased by 100. You also on that skill 2 have a chance for defense breaking and stunning, so that's definitely pretty nice. It has a good rate as well. And then skill 1 is just the heal block, which is a little bit less interesting. So for rune sets, I do recommend to go either fast on swift and then go for high attack. Crit damage you need a little bit less, so I went for a crit rate 4. I do want to get max accuracy. I do recommend max accuracy on her, and she's max accuracy with that skill 3 accuracy in there. And then left side, it's mainly one of my killers for Byungchul, because we definitely do have a very strong Byungchul meta right now. This unit is pretty strong against that. So what else could you do for rune sets? Well, swift is possible, despair is possible, wouldn't really go on violent. It's not really a defense unit, it's mainly a offense unit. The way that I use it is with an LD5. Don't get me wrong, don't be like, oh, no, I need the LD5, otherwise I can't use it. No, you kind of need a Tiana. That's what I more or less would recommend you to use it with. Without Tiana, it's a little bit worse. Let's see if there's a few hits where I would like to use this. If everything is speed lead related, it's a little bit more difficult. Do we have a Byungchul thing? This whole guild all decided, like, we only use speed leads. Well, I think I can use it over here. Over there, it's kind of fine. So let's just reserve that one over there. And we're going to use it on this team. So what I currently use it with is this. Would you say you don't have a Maximilian? Which is very commonly, you do not have a Maximilian. A very simple replacement, because in the end, Maximilian, all it does in this setup is just armor break. That's kind of the main thing. This thing does armor break. It is an option. Would you say, like, okay, but that thing never lands his armor break properly? You're somewhat right about that statement. But even if you miss the armor break, she still pushes back, so you have another chance to actually get that. If you have despair on that, you have kind of like a double chance to either get a pushback or something like that. Sure, you could miss all of your skills, but it's very less likely. You could also use this one. This one has a double pushback and a also double armor break potential. So that's definitely an option you could do with this. Also, if you happen to have the Dark Trist, you can use the Dark Trist in here. You could also use an Asima in here. So there's a whole bunch of options you can put in here. But my option is going to be that one. So let's see what we want to use on these other fights. I think we're going to use that one over there. We're going to use this one over here. We are going to use... Or we're going to use that over there. Now we're going to use this one over there. And then we're going to go for you over yonder. This one, and then this one is the one that I'm going to... Options, choices, decisions. I kind of need another reset for this. Another reset. Well, I can still go this one. Would that actually work against this? I could kill you first, and then you after, and then Bruiser a little bit. Yeah, it would work. Just have to make sure that I do the right damage on the right things. Otherwise, it might be bad. And if things go bad, I don't like it. Okay, let's see how it goes. It does mean that you get yourself attack bar moment on killing. Is that an issue? No, I don't think so. You will get a little bit of attack bar, but I think I still would cut fairly anyways. So let's see how this works out. And then how good the Fire Trist is. I think Fire Trist is probably one of the better teams out here right now, because there's a lot of Byungchul things. Didn't particularly find a Byungchul offense or a Byungchul defense that I'm using it against right now. We'll probably try to find one in for the next rounds. Okay. Yep, doesn't matter. So yeah, we'll find a Byungchul defense for the next one to hit it with. And what I recommend most people, if you want to do this inter-server stuff, just get like a bunch of presets that all work pretty well. In this case, we have that one over here. Let's just slap in a little bit of damage on you. Boost you up. This thing is actually countering a Tianlang as well, because you boost up everything. But in here, Tianlang... Would Tianlang get a turn because I get an attack bar? Nope. Nope, doesn't get it. Doesn't get it still. Okay, perfect. So yeah, this thing is still fully countering Tianlang. I think I will leave Tianlang in as final, so I'm killing that 1 second. You always have to check with this unit, like what are you killing first? Because that one you will be hitting without the attack buff in first state. So also the damage increase on X element will always be on the element that I hit first. That's why you could also see more damage on this one than on this one, according to like the stuff. So this is, oh wait, I do actually hit a Byunjo. Byunjo defenses. Yeah, Byunjo, this thing is on despair right now. So now we have this skill which just does so much. Like there's so much going on. But the best part about it is Tiana right now on a defense break plus a branding. That's just an insane amount of damage. So you just need the defense break. Sure, my Tiana is not the highest of damage out there. I could definitely make a better Tiana for more crit damage and that kind of stuff. But it's definitely something that does work out quite well so far that I've seen. So in this case, you do violent proc. It's actually not the best position to violent proc at, but I think it's still totally fine. So let's see. We also do have the endure buff, which is actually kind of funny. I do kind of want to kill this, even if it's lower odds. But yeah, in the end, you do have the endure buff. You get like a whole bunch of all kinds of buffs. What is actually the worst part for him to get hit at, but in the end, totally works out on that team. It's kind of a funny team. This thing, I should be a little bit careful with things that are Odin, because in general case, Odin does tend to be a team where they do have shield runes, and shield runes does mean that it's a little bit more difficult for you to get your stuff in. But in most cases, this team is still very, very fine. And I think I'll still be using this unless I get something better than Varad, but don't really feel like that there's too much better than Varad in this specific case. I do think I have a few upgrades on Varad that I might try to be implementing in this kit anytime soon. Let's see if we find another more tanky team with Byunjo. So if we can find a team with a Byunjo plus like a Nigong or something, that would be epic. Okay, no Byunjo Nigong, but let's try it against this. It's a little bit worse against water, of course, so could be a little bit more tricky, but I definitely do think it will still totally work out. So let's see what we're using. We're using this one. Might you say, like, can't you just use Poseidon or something like that? I would say she's better than Poseidon because of the, well, it doesn't give a slow, but it gives the branding, which is really nice. It gives the glancing, which is pretty nice. And it also gives the attack bar pushback, of course, but a Poseidon is not as great in a 3v1 kind of scenario. So let's say the enemy has a good bruiser that could maybe 3v1 your whole team. This thing still has like good single target skills, which Poseidon has a little bit worse. So for that reason, I would say that in certain situations, sure, a Poseidon might still be better. But definitely in a lot of situations, I would classify her as being better rather than the other one. So those are my two takes on that one. I definitely do think I can outspeed this one over here. Or do I actually want to use that over there? No, let's use it to outspeed this one over there. And this one I could do, well, actually a bunch of options. I do think I would outspeed you. But if I don't, I would be in a troublesome scenario if I don't have will runes on anything. Would I go for this? It is still, actually you just want to go for a Wusa plus or something over there. But I actually also don't really feel like re-runing for that. So I'm just going to take it a chance that the Asher is not swift. And if it is, hopefully it derps. Well, actually, did you guys notice that the derp rate on defense has got better or worse, like whatever you want to call it? Like it's doing their skills more, let's call it that way. And then everyone knows what we're talking about. Because supposedly they were buffed to use their skills more often. But I'm still not too sure about that. I was talking to one of my guildies today and he was fighting a Gianna on defense. And the Gianna literally never did a skill 3. So we always had the feeling that some units were just more derpy bound than other units. Gianna being one of them, like Neftis being some of them. That you can probably name a bunch of units that just never actually want to use their skills. Would you say that these are more commonly using their skills right now, or still be like, nah, they don't really use their shit all too often? So let's see for this team. Okay, we do get an armor break, not on the Theomars. It's kind of fine-ish. Let's drop in a little bit more damage. I would say that the Maximilian is pretty good for this, but in the end, if this was a Truffle, or this was an Asuma, or this was just a Galleon, I'd say Galleon is more of the trickier situation, but it can make your Trist do a lot more damage, of course. But in the end, Yep, clears very nicely. Oh, wait, this is one of those that's actually a Leo trap. There's a lot of teams that are built like this and they're Leo traps. I don't think it's necessarily bad as a Leo trap. The only issue is that where people don't counter it with a Leo, it's super bad in the first place with this. So yeah, you counter one thing, but you don't really counter the next thing. It's nice and tanky, but in the end, against the Heigang, this doesn't do anything. And I think everyone that has a Heigang probably does have this team running and rolling around these days, which is just an incredibly strong team. Also, every time that the Clara just strips on the skill 1, you're just gonna get attack bar, and it's just one of those teams. Like, if you happen to have a Heigang, the others are free to play, build this team 100%. You're gonna like this team, because there's still a lot of Claras on defense these days, because Clara's just so accessible for defense. So I definitely would say that Clara is very nice. Yeah, it's just the Heigang issue. Everything, if you make a Clara defense, it should be something that could be countering a Heigang, but that part is pretty difficult. So in this case, we have 0 will runes, and he did not outspeed me. So that is a very easy clear of everything. Well, almost everything. Yay! Robo OP. I actually got 2 robos right now, which does help out quite a bit. Okay, so in this case, I do want to kill you. I actually did not give you damage on wind. I should have given you damage on wind, because otherwise this thing might survive. In this case, didn't survive. So that's always when you do these inter-server guild battle stuff, you should actually change your mainly like your damage dealers for artifacts. If you don't really change your runes, not too big of an issue, but at least change your artifacts to do damage on the right thing or tank the right thing, and that's all there is to it. And it gives free rewards, which we also get for Siege right now. But I think for this thing is counting faster for inter-server guild battle than for Siege. But either out, guys, thanks a lot for watching on this one. Let me know if you were already using Fire Trist, or maybe you had a different team of using Fire Trist. I could say you could maybe use it into RTA, but the issue with RTA is that you're probably fighting a bunch more water units. And in this position, you can choose to not hit water units. So that's kind of the thing. And I was also saying with a Dark Trist, I think that that team would be really insane. I do know a friend of mine that's actually using that, which is a Dark Trist, which does a pretty much guaranteed ignore harmful effect, or like ignore defense because of the harmful effects, because you have a glancing on there plus a branding, and you don't need a defense break on this. You just need the glancing and the branding, and then this thing does an insane amount of damage. Plus, you also have an attack lead on this. So pretty nice. You do have to outspeed it, of course. The Maximilian makes that outspeeding part a little bit easier. Same for the Galleon. But I would say that a Truffle or an Asima would do pretty good too. If you don't have those, because those are more the premium units, I would just go for that Galleon, and it's definitely a solid clear. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab, which has the dungeon guide archive and the video guide archive, which contains all of the guides that you need. Hope to see you there.